Hi, welcome back to another video. Long time since the last, I've just been discouraged and haven't really made time to make a video in a while, mainly because of that, but also because of some really huge changes in my life. To be honest, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall, or in this case, a camera, not really reaching anybody. So I started this channel with the intent of, just sharing my testimonies, sharing things that are meaningful to my faith, and praying and believing that would reach somebody else and would be an encouragement to them. So I guess this video is sort of like an update to anybody who watches. I decided to, make another video, and I'll just keep chugging along despite the discouragement of feeling like this channel has no meaning. I'll talk a little bit more about my discouragement of this channel a little bit later, but I wanted to do the happy stuff first. The happy news is that I did get married, and the whole background is different because I moved into my husband's home. Our apartment is small, and there wasn't really a space for me to make a pretty background for my videos. I've been married now for 5 weeks now. This video is not going to be about marriage advice because I have none to give. So, married life, wow. In the 5 weeks that I've been married, there's been a lot that's happened. First of all, the joyous part, getting married, wow. It was amazing. I was so happy to get married. The only disappointment that I would say is that it went by really fast, like really, really fast. I just remember waking up and knowing this is my wedding day. I'm super, super excited. I actually cried because I was super stressed. The only regret really that I have is the fact that I was stressing over it. And I think it's become a joke now that I was so stressed, I guess, that I didn't really smile during my entire wedding because the candid shots showed that I was like, or just like had like this weird uncomfortable face on the entire time. I thought I was faking a smile, but clearly I have no awareness of what my facial expressions are showing. But otherwise, I felt really beautiful. I was really happy with the way things turned out, even though there was a lot of drama. For the reception, we both had traditional African clothes made for us. And I really liked the way they turned out, and I wish I could wear them again. That's a stupid thing about weddings, is that you only get to wear your wedding dress once. We went on a really short and sweet honeymoon. Life is hard. That's a perfect segue into how my married life is going. So wifehood, I will say that, it wasn't actually hard to adjust. Apparently I'm really good at adapting, and I learned that about myself. Having to live with somebody, I thought that would be super awkward, but no, it wasn't at all. People talk like about the honeymoon phase. I'm not saying that this is gonna be for anybody else, but I feel like for me, honeymoon phase ended really quickly. Like literally the end of the honeymoon. Mainly because my husband had to get back to work, and his work is very mentally and emotionally tasking, and so he was always drained, always just like, back to the grind for him. For me, it was similar, but not in that I was working and busying myself, more that I wasn't working and busying myself, and that put emotional and mental drain on me. I found it very hard not to do anything. As for like expectations in marriage, I came into marriage with a lot of them, like maybe too many, and actually even some unreasonable ones. Had a lot of expectations about how life would be as a married couple spiritually, like sharing a faith with somebody. And to be honest, I still have those expectations that I feel now that I need to break, because they are not good and they're not very healthy. I end up holding that over my husband, and now he's feeling, burdened. I still am struggling to let that go. I automatically am just filled with guilt, filled with shame, and say, man, why do I keep on doing this? And I feel so helpless sometimes. And some people would say that they feel similar with, a sin that they really can't seem to overcome. And I would say that this is my sin, that it's very hard for me to overcome. And, it gets to me. It really does. I don't have a testimony yet to share that I have released that. And given it purely into God's hands. I would say that is something that I have learned in this short 5-week marriage. I'm hoping and I'm praying that God will really help me change. My husband said to me that before he married me, God told him that he should marry me because I was a good woman. And for somebody who has struggled and still struggles with image, worth, and value, this was very hard to hear and to really believe it. Like, it instantly makes me cry. I don't even know how I'm holding it in right now. Man, it's just like, 'cause I don't believe it. And it sucks because I'd like to believe it. He had said it, and I was also praying about it. God was just like, he reminded me that our image, our finishedness, because we are a work in progress. That is the overall belief of a Christian, is that they are a work in progress. God is molding us and changing us to be a better image of himself. These trials and these temptations and these mistakes and failures are just a result of you learning and getting better, and therefore becoming a better image. And so I was praying, and I was reminded of that God calls me good. He sees me as a completed product. He sees me as a perfect, finished sculpture. But as I see it now, as I live in this moment, I'm not that image yet. I'm not completed, because I'm still living, and I'm still working, and I'm still letting God grow me, and I'm still on my journey. And so in that way, God reminded me that, when he calls me good, when he calls me a good woman, and he tells my husband to call me a good woman, it's like, because he sees a finished product. But God's working on me. God's working. And in that, I can hold my hope. So the beginning of the video kind of showed that I am a little discouraged about this channel. Like, discouragement in regard to, whether or not these videos are even worth anything. I get to these points where I really have no faith in what I'm doing here. So I feel a lot of discouragement, and mainly because my expectations are unreasonable, in that I expected to get more views right away. It's like, that's not how it works. It's not as easy as my expectations make it out to be. One of the reasons why this video is months between the last, because of that discouragement. I didn't really want to make this video. I thought, like, who are you talking to? Really, I'm just gonna keep on keeping on despite what I feel, because I feel like that's the better choice than giving up. I do want to make sure that God is glorified in every video, no matter if I'm sharing about my struggles that are not yet cured or whatever. I'd like to praise him by saying that God is teaching me a lot. He's really brought me to the valleys that I've been in for a reason, and for purpose. And I want to share this one thing, and this is how God will be praised. At my local church, a theme for 8 weeks now in its studying and taking apart the Lord's Prayer. The previous Sunday was lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And the concept of temptation, defining what it really is, and why the Lord's Prayer says, God, lead us not into temptation. It's like, wait, God leads us into temptation? What the heck? A really big, life-changing change of perspective on the concept of the pain and trial and temptation that you feel when you're in the valley. I had believed that life is full of trials, right? And you just happen to go in them because that's just the part of life, right? So God has no orchestration in them, and then God, according to Romans 8:28, says God will use everything to his good purpose for those who love him, or whatever. And so I had kind of misused that and kind of connected it in a way that was like where God was really kind of like not a part of the trial concept, but rather he just says, my child is in a trial. Let's turn this into a spiritual growth moment. And so I had viewed God and trials in that way. I had learned that, man, that's not a really great way to put it, and that's not what God is, and that's not his character, and that's not what's happening. I kind of got a reset on how I view spiritual trials now. And what I've learned is that when it says, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one, in some translations, is that God does actively lead us into trials. Christ is praying, Lord, do not lead us into temptation. He's not saying, Lord, don't dangle the donut in front of me. He's actually saying, when in trial, Lord, do not let the evil one tempt me to failure. What I've learned is, one, God does lead us into trials because we believe that God is a molder and a sculptor, according to Isaiah, and that he is, according to what Jesus had described God as, the vine dresser, and he's trimming. So there's imagery of being a sculptor, he's being a potter that's molding a pot, he's a vine dresser cutting unneeded branches. So all of this imagery is describing a God who is very present in our lives and helping us be better. And God does lead us into trials, but he doesn't lead us into temptation where we will fail, because within the trial, in the valley, there are dangers. And the Bible says that Satan is prowling around like a roaring lion, ready to devour, ready to find a foothold, as Peter calls it. I think it's Peter, or it could be Paul, one of the P's. Talks about Satan having a foothold. And if you don't know what a foothold is, it's when someone's trying to barge into your door and they put their boot in the small crevice of the door and the door frame to hold the door open. A foothold. We in the valley, ready for growth, ready for change. The prowling lion is ready, and then the moment you say, I can't do this, boom, he has a foothold, and then he's ready to just say, all of these whispers get in through that foothold, and then you are then successfully tempted to either sin, depending on what the context is. Those whispers get to you, and then you are tempted to fall, tempted to sin when you are in that trial. There we go. So I feel like maybe this is a good end to the video, even though I had shared a lot of trials and not so many triumphs. I'm actually a little bit more joyful now that I've said it all. And this video is turning more into a journal, a vlog journal, rather than a video for a YouTube channel. But anyways, so to anyone who's out there watching this video, thanks for watching. I hope God blesses you as he continues to bless me. I pray that his word become more real to you. God be with you, in Jesus' name. Bye.